communication process. The communication is the basic elements which are required for a communication process is, the first one is the sender. So whoever is sending the messages. Now the sender can be from any country, can be from any social economic, can be employee, can be employer. The person who is exchanging the information with somebody else is the sender of the information. Now the sender may be sending the written communication, can be sending verbal communication, can be sending gestures. It normally choose a way how he is going to encode the information or encode the message that he want to send. He may send it writing, he may send it verbal, he may send it in Chinese, he may send it in Burmese, he may send it in computerized language, or he may decipher it or cipher the information so that somebody else is not able to steal it. So we need a method of encoding. So encoding is used to wrap the information, the message, in a way that it can when it reach the information, when it reach the receiver, it's able to decode it in the same way as the sender want to send. So what is encoded? Encoded is the message. So whatever is the information or the message that we want to send is the third component of our communication process. So we need to have a clear message. What do we want to exchange with the receiver? What do we want to say? It can be a command, it can be a request, it can be a response, or it can be just an exchange of ideas between the two peoples. It can be written, it can be verbal, it can be, the mode of communication can be various. So that is another element of the communication process. Then that message is the another element of the communication process is the receiver, who is going to receive the information. That receiver will use the similar methods which the sender is using to encode, to decode the information. So there the fifth element is the decoding. So decoding process and encoding process need to align. You cannot communicate in between a French and American, or French and English, where they don't understand the language of each other. So sender may be an American person who is going to encode the message to in English. If the receiver, who is a French, does not have a system to translate or decode the information which is coming in English to the French, he will not be able to understand the language, or he will not be able to understand the message. So that is the method of communication process. And the last leg, which is normally the often is ignored, is the feedback. So every communication has to be completed with the feedback. It can be an acknowledgement, can be a response, can be just a gesture that okay, we have received the information. So feedback is very important part of communication process. Feedback can be negative, can be positive, can be acknowledged only, can be a response, or can be a clarification, can be anything, but there has to be a feedback within the to complete the communication process. So that is the basic idea of what is the meaning of communication, what are the elements of communication, and why do we communicate. So we communicate to express, we communicate to direct, we communicate to exchange the ideas. The communication is available in all facets of life, whether it's social, whether it's official, whether it's from military, whether it's in offices, whether it's a business world. So the communication is essential.